Welcome, everybody. Hi. For this first episode of the House of Possibilities podcast, which will also be launched actually live on this page with a topic every week to start opening up to more consciousness and possibilities. Hello, everybody. Let's see who hops on live. In these intense times, maybe you'll watch this now, maybe later. We are in the middle of a lockdown of the world. They're closing down and chasing people, and you might have noticed there's so much going on that how many moments in your life at the moment you're aware of so much. You're aware of so much confusion. You're aware of so many people being aware of other people, and this leads often to a buildup of all kinds of feelings and emotions and thoughts and paranoia and fear. But it takes away where we can actually start looking at what's underneath all of this and what's right about all of this. And one of the things that I've been noticing, hi everybody, is how many points of views everyone has, and how much it's about starting to look at what's wrong here and how can we change this, how can we prevent it, but all in the now. And this week I was watching a TEDx talk where a woman that had been working in health organizations all over the world started talking about how all of this actually started where we are not taking care of the planet, and where we think we have the right of taking away the Amazon and all of these kind of things on the planet, but we don't actually look at what's that going to create, and if we are actually really ready for those changes on the planet. And it was interesting to see with that, she said, we are not prepared for the species, the animals, and what they bring with them, how to deal with those, how to deal with the viruses that they actually bring along, because we have never been exposed to that. And the other night I was in my bed and I was really perceiving all the fear, and my body went into okay, do I have it? What's going on with my lungs? Until the moment I asked, okay, so what's going on here, body? How aware are you of what's going on the planet right now? And yesterday I had a conversation with a doctor as well, and I asked him hey, whatever is going on in your body right now, is this you, or are you aware of a lot of bodies around you? And this is the gift of the tools that I've had the honor to work with for a lot of years. Hello everybody. Access consciousness tools, which are basically a set of questions, clearings, but also a lot of body work, will allow you to start looking at true and real for you, and not just be at the effect of what everyone else is shouting around you. And it was interesting to see how quickly things in my body started shifting and changing once I started to get how aware I was of everyone around. And not even close by. It, this awareness goes for all of us, 10,000 and more kilometers around. So I started asking okay, so where can I actually tap into that will allow my body to actually have its own space? And that was where I got oh, the earth. The earth is in this moment for my body the only place that's actually sane, that has this vibration that's peaceful, that's spacious, that's not going into trauma, drama, points of views, judgments, intensity, contraction, but is actually just being space and more space and more space and more space. And this is one of the things, maybe if you've been aware of a lot of intensity in your body, hi, hello, how, have you been tapping into the earth? And you can do this right now, wherever you are. You don't have to be outside, or you don't have to be in the countryside. The earth is everywhere underneath. So just maybe for a moment right now, tap into the earth, into the vibrations of the earth. And you can breathe in and out, and just ask your body to tap into that. And what will it take for you to be present with the sane sanity in these moments and not to actually start vibrating along with all the insanity around you? And so when I was asking questions the other night, I started asking also, like, I remember the conversation we had in the Maestro class, which is a class that is given every year with in Access Consciousness. And we talked about the Amazon. And at a certain point, I started asking myself after class, like, okay, so what is it with the Amazon? It was burning down at that moment. Like, what's right about this? Is there really something wrong? How can we change it? And in that moment, I perceived actually, wow, like for me, receiving with my body, through my body, will actually generate something totally different on the planet, and is actually what's required on the planet. Now, I had no idea how that would actually look like. And honestly, like, how many definitions do we have about everything? So when you get, receiving with my body, like, how often will we go into our head to actually define what it means to receive, rather than asking, like, okay, so what does that mean? What does receiving mean? And what does the planet requires of all of us in this moment for things to change? And what if your body is actually a key for greater awareness? What if your body is a key to start showing you how you could actually choose to create in the world and to open doors that are so different? And this is where I see, like, in this moment with the corona and with all of these things, how much do we learn to go into our heads and to decide what's going to be the right choice, what's going to be the wrong choice, but we actually don't allow ourselves to ask our body, hey, can you show me what I should choose or what I shouldn't, like where I can go right now or where I cannot go? Because your body will have an awareness, will probably loud and clearly tell you, don't choose that, don't go there right now. But how often do we decide things and then we force our bodies to eat this, to go somewhere where our body is like, nope, I wouldn't choose that. So what invitation is your body to you? And what is it that your body knows? And more than ever, I think we're all invited to start looking at, okay, so is it time to step up? Is it time to start asking ourselves, what is it that we know? What is it that your body knows about the earth? And isn't it crazy? I work a lot with talk to the entities tools, or with entity work. And one of the great gifts that I love about these classes, so talk to the entities is about talking to dead people, talking to ghosts. One of the things I love is that wherever I travel, there is always a lot of entities, and they will sometimes be there many generations, already hanging around. Some of them will want to leave, but some of them are also there still having a lot of awareness and knowledge about the earth. Because that was how in the older days, in a lot of countries, people created with the earth. When they would build buildings, they would create it with the earth. When they would eat, they would not just eat whatever. No, they would create that with their body and the earth together. And it's so magical to me actually to start asking those also, okay, so what is it you know? What if also there actually your body could be a key to unlock the knowledge that has been kept, not secretly, but just we have not been willing to actually ask those questions. We have not been willing. Most people on planet Earth today still pretend ghosts are not there. Ghosts are crazy. If you see ghosts, if you perceive ghosts, you're nuts. But what if there is actually a lot of gifts that the planet has to offer if we are willing to listen, if we are willing to ask? And today and yesterday, there were all kind of beautiful, beautiful pictures shared on Facebook of actually the planet starting to create itself extraordinary. In Venice, water that hasn't been clear for, I think, over 20 years, suddenly is blue, like the ocean in New Caledonia. It's crazy. So what is going on right now that is so right? that we have not been willing to actually acknowledge because we're more scared to maybe not get sick or not die, or not lose all our money, but we're not actually willing to look on a greater plan, like what is actually right about this? And what is it now time to choose for me with my body that I never had to because I could just be busy with having a job and with working and with succeeding in my life. But I was actually never looking at what is it that I can create with my body. So what is it that you can create with your body that you've never had to actually wonder, ask about, because you could just have your life and it was fine. But now what if that luxury is actually over? And it is time for all of us to start asking like, okay, so wow, if I wouldn't have to try to be the same, if I would allow myself to be different, to recognize my difference, to recognize the difference that my body is, what will become available? And how many of you, including myself, have been trying to create your body based on judgments and as normal as everyone around you. You've been creating your life as normal as everyone around you. So what else are we forced to choose right now? And so I'm like in the middle of a program to clear entities, and it was so awesome to actually see that like working with entities is not only about ghosts, it's about how we choose to deal with our bodies on the planet, how we choose to deal with awareness on the planet. And most of us, I know a lot of you here have the access consciousness tools in your pocket somewhere, but maybe there are also people who have not yet heard about it. And one of the most, like the top one questions is like, who does this belong to? And how often have we learned that when we feel something, that must mean something, rather than acknowledging like, wow, what if every feeling that you had in your body was an awareness of something or someone? What if 99% of whatever runs through your body is actually just something you're aware of? And sometimes that might show up in tears or in pains or in suffering or depression. And it has been stunning me over the years, facilitating around the world classes, how much we have been brought up to actually invalidate that awareness by people asking us all the time since we're small, like, hey, how are you feeling? What are you feeling? Why are you crying? And never asking us like, hey, what is this? Is it yours? Or are you aware of something, of an energy in the world? And by starting to ask that, our bodies will not have to destroy themselves anymore, but they will actually start to become stronger. Because if your whole life you're aware of energies, of things, of people, but you keep thinking it's yours, your body will start creating that. So if you keep thinking like, oh my God, I got pain in my knee, but you never ask like, hey, what is this? Is it actually pain in my knee, or am I aware of an energy? Like where your body could now be a key to open up something. It's where you start locking it in, and where now for a long time you'll have to get rid, or you'll start to get rid of like knee pain. And this is like things I've seen changing so quickly with depressions, with pains, with sickness, when people start asking that question, oh, so when did it actually start? Was there anyone else around me that was suffering from whatever I'm suffering right now? And have I not acknowledged that maybe I have the capacity, and my body has the capacity to, when I perceive somebody like vibrating like this, like, oh my God, I got pain, or oh my God, I got depression, or oh my God, I got headaches. When you go and stand next to them, you start actually being aware of that, and you start vibrating in the same rhythm. And now you start having pain in your knee, or you start having headaches, or you start feeling depressed or sad or tired, where you could actually choose in that moment to start asking like, oh, body, is this ours? Or are we aware of something and someone? And what if by asking that question, you can actually start to empower your body not to be sick, not to be depressed, not to have pain, but to start looking at, okay, body, What is it you're showing me? And what can we do with this? And that is where your body is this key to unlock things and to change them, not only for you. Because guess what? A lot of the pains in our bodies are actually created by the earth, like screaming for our energetic contribution. And the minute we acknowledge that and we're like, oh my God, this hurts. Okay, like what is this? Who does this belong to? Oh, is this like the earth asking for me to just contribute, to be present? What will you be able to facilitate and unlock for the earth in any moment, wherever you are, rather than suffer your awareness? So, what are you aware of that maybe no one else around you is willing to be aware of? And this is a thing I've seen a lot with children. They will be aware of everything, and then we go and like, oh, they're so hypersensitive. Or they're like a sponge. They take on everything. Nope, they're just super duper aware. Now, how do you train them? Do you train them to actually acknowledge that and to be more aware? Or do you train them to actually see something is wrong with them? And like, oh my God, like what can we do to change that? And this is where a question will allow them to start looking at, oh, what capacities do I have? And most children have the capacity to just put their hands on your body and change and shift stuff. Or they'll just take it out of you just because they can or just because they care. How awesome is that? And how many of us have that capacity, but we've just not learned to deal with it. We've not learned to actually use our body as the key. So if you have been dealing with a lot of stuff lately, one of the things you might want to start ask is like, okay, so who does this belong to? What is my body aware of? And what is my body capable of? And everywhere you've been thinking that your body was something that was like, or that you were suffering, you can start asking, okay, so what if my body was a key? And everywhere I've been choosing to actually be the lock by my thoughts, feelings, and emotions and thinking like, oh my God, I feel bad. Or, oh, what's wrong with me? That's where we lock things in. What if you could start really, really asking questions in that moment? And certainly in this kind of times where the vibrations of the people are in most parts of the world totally nutsy. And just crazy what people are choosing. And it's not about staying in or going out. What if it's, because I've seen a lot of people now just choosing like, should I be for people that go or for people that stay, or should I be against the people that go out or against people? But we don't ask like what's actually going to work for you and your body. Have you asked that? Hey, what's going to work for you and your body? Is it staying in? Is it going out? Is it a bit of both? So you function from question and not from conclusion. And you'll, like, your body will tell you, like, nope, I don't think it's a good idea to go out right now. Okay, what else can we create? So if you have any questions, you can pop them in, of course. I think I could see them. Check that. Yeah. And what else is possible in these days? And truly, what is your body capable of that you don't even know yet? And just by asking that, and certainly if you've had a lot of suffering and sickness throughout your life, what if you could consider that maybe your body is way stronger than what you thought? And maybe everything you've defined as a wrongness or a sickness was somewhere where you were facilitating something, but people have just not learned or taught you how to be present with that, and how to be conscious with that, and how to actually create with that strength rather than destroy yourself and suffer it. Turkey. I don't read Turkish, my dear. I'm so sorry. So if you can write it in English, because I see it's a question. Jai, can you write it in English? Can you use Google Translate? Maybe? And thank you so much for being here, watching this. we'll have some more conversations also with other people, creating from a different space with bodies, because it's something I'm really, really excited about how what else is possible. And the possibilities are always endless. It's not about finding the right possibility, finding the right thing to create with your body. So I think you don't have Google Translate, right? I'll look that up later and give you an answer. Thank you so much for this first episode. What if your body is a key to greater consciousness for you, but not only for you, also for the people around you and for the planet? And what if now is a time to start asking yourself, like, okay, so what am I capable of? Beyond what I've made right, beyond what I've made like something I'm successful in, because that is where you'll start to access your capacities beyond what this reality says as, oh, that's a capacity. What if the capacities are not what you do? It's actually what you be in the world that creates the change. Thank you so much for today, and I will be back next week with Dr. Anthony Mattis as my guest. He is like a chiropractor and also a facilitator of consciousness with bodies that travels the world and has a different and amazing perspective to look at bodies. So I'm really, really looking forward to what we can create together and what will come out of the conversation. So thank you and see you next week. Bye everybody. Bye-bye.